What's up, guys? Jerry here. Hope you're doing well today. Hey, for those of you that don't know me, I'm Jerry with AG Capital. If you don't know me, I got to take a real second. We're going to take a time out. I apologize. That's totally my fault. We're actually going to fix that problem today so that you know who I am, and you make sure that you share this video. If you're learning something, please share this. Make sure somebody you know sees it, that they're able to get educated. You never know how just one little piece of information can change someone's life. So now that we all know each other, I want to talk to you guys about a very important subject. It's something that comes up quite a bit with my clients, my agents, prospects that I talk to, and it's the question of the year. What do we do about snow blindness in cats? Actually, that's not the question. The question is, what do we do if health insurance changes, right? So unless you've been living under a rock, you know that Trump has been elected, Obama's out. Right, I was surprised. I just found out last week. But anyways, Trump is in, and so they're talking Trump care. They're talking all these changes. They're talking about getting rid of, health insurance as we know it. So there's a lot of what if. And so I want to address the what if today, okay? Now, uncertainty, I just want to, put the elephant in the room out of business here. Uncertainty, it doesn't help with anything, right? It doesn't matter whether that is health insurance, whether that is a relationship, whether that is a business. Uncertainty does not help. Right? We can all agree with that right up front. So my intention today is to give you guys some certainty and to provide education and information so that you're able to make smart decisions with your money today, specifically about health insurance. Now, the reason I'm talking about health insurance is because I can save you 50% on your annual premiums. Okay? So if you're paying for any sort of premium and you would like to pay 50% less, go to my website, agcapitalgroup.com/savings. agcapitalgroup.com/savings. Go ahead and check it out. But today we're going to talk about what do we do if healthcare changes? Is it going to change? And so I want to go ahead and just get this all straightened out right off the bat. Yes, it's going to change. I guarantee it. It will change. Right? It's gonna. It doesn't matter whether it's this year, if it's in 4 years from now or 8 years from now, it is going to change. We already know that. Okay? Now, I want to give you guys some peace of mind personally, and this is my speculation. It's just based on how governments operate and their intention. A government's intention is to grow, to increase tax revenues, and to gain incrementally more control over the population. It does not matter what government it is. That is the end goal. Okay? Control equals power and income. Governments are all about power and income. Show me one politician that's not in love with himself, even if he's a nice guy and you like him. If you think your full-time job should be telling people what to do, you've got an ego, I promise. Okay, so all of the politicians are out there for power, control, and income. We can all agree with that. Doesn't matter who it is, right? So because we know this is their MO, we can already estimate that one thing I don't think is going to change is tax credits. Okay, we have about 330 million people in America. A huge percentage of them are on tax credits. And you cannot give tax credits to hundreds of millions of people and then take them away. Okay, imagine if you had, if you're a senior citizen, if you had a letter come in the mail this week that said, hey, we're taking away your Social Security, right? Or if you're on, food stamps and that's your deal, and you suddenly get a letter in the mail saying, hey, you still qualify, but we're going to take it away. Okay, government wants you to depend on them because without your depending on the government, there's no need for a government. Okay, it's a symbiotic relationship. Because you depend on them, they can exist. If you don't depend on them, they cannot exist. So that's one thing I don't think is going to change. I do think that they're going to change it from maybe a subsidy to a tax credit. Okay, so they might not give you a subsidy. They might give you a credit and say, hey, based on the end of the year, these are the tax credits you qualify for in your premium. I do think it'll still be a reimbursement. So right now you're getting subsidies, and at the end of the year, they're not just saying, hey, here's a bunch of money. They're paying for your premium every month. I still think it'll be that system. Okay, I wrote an article and I did a video last week about why health insurance is so expensive. And again, if you're overpaying for it, go to my site, agcapitalgroup.com/savings. I can help you reduce that by 50%. But if you're overpaying, it's not just because of the insurance company. It's actually because the hospital overcharges for services, right? because the hospital overcharges for services, the insurance company has to pay extra money when they cover a case or they cover a client. And because the insurance company is a business and their focus is retaining profit and staying in business and expanding, they shift those higher expenses over to you and I through an annual premium increase, right? So if you're in any state that I know of, your premiums have been going up every single year. Okay, if you could invest in somebody's insurance premiums, that would probably be a good deal because your money would be doubling literally every single year. Okay, so that's one thing I don't think is going to change. Hospitals and medical facilities are still going to overcharge for costs. Insurance companies are still going to overcharge for premiums. And so our federal government will continue to provide some way to help pay for these increased premium costs. Now, one thing that many people are not aware of is the federal government is currently subsidizing through different programs on deductibles and copays. Okay, I do think that's probably going to get cut back. I don't think it'll stop all the way, but I do think it'll get cut back. So if you're one of those people that's getting your copay or deductible subsidized, that might be one of the changes. But ultimately, we're still going to have our premiums reduced through tax credits. It's the MO of any government to maintain control and to maintain dependency of a people on the government. So I don't think that'll change. The one change that I can guarantee is there will be change. Okay, you can guarantee that. Everything has changed. I want you to pick a single area of your life, any area of your life, and identify an area that has not changed. You can't. So it's going to change. And one thing that we can do to make sure that we have certainty is to confront that, to realize it and say, yep, it's going to change. I'm not always going to know what's going on. And embrace it. You know, every 3 to 5 years you buy a new car. That's change. But I don't see you worrying about the car that you're in because you know that 3 to 5 years from now you're going to get a new one, right? Every 7 to 10 years you're going to sell your house. And I actually think my friend Lolly Brown Martone is on. She does real estate, so she'd be an excellent person to reach out to if you're buying or selling a house. But if you are, I don't see you worrying about the house you live in because you know you're going to sell it, right? So this fear of change is not something we apply in all areas because it's expected. We know we're going to get a new car. We know we're going to sell our house. We know that we're going to have different friends that cycle in and out of our lives. We know that what we eat for dinner tomorrow is not going to be the same thing we ate for dinner tonight. So change happens everywhere. And so the way we can brace ourselves for changes that happen in health insurance is to realize it's going to happen. It's a normal thing, right? The fact that it's a business that provides your insurance and you don't own that business automatically means there's going to be change because you're not in control of what they do. Okay, so what I do with my clients is I help give them certainty by being a middleman for them, right? Anytime you work with an insurance person, I don't care who it is, I don't care what their pitch is, they are a middleman. Okay, and whether or not you work with a middleman is 100% dependent on the value that they bring to the table for you. Okay, if you're paying for a middleman to help you with something and they're not helping, you're probably not going to feel like you got good value, right? So what I do for clients is I help them look for ways to decrease their cost. The value I bring is a simple cost decrease. When we have freed up that money, we then find out, okay, we've gotten this basically a pay raise. We cut down a fixed expense in the budget. We can start putting that towards other things that matter, like saving, like investing, like planning for our future. And that's going to help us get in a position where we don't have to worry about insurance. It's not going to be a concern, okay? I do company launch meetings, and what that means is when I come into a business, like I said, I save them 50% on their annual premiums, I restructure their health insurance, and then I do a speaking engagement for the employees. And the intention of that speaking engagement is A, to educate the employees and the employer on the change in the insurance, how we're going to be structuring things, and then B, to provide financial education and certainty to the employees so that they can start getting their money figured out, they can come to work focused on their job, and they can be more productive, and they don't have to worry about switching jobs just for a pay raise. They've got their money managed, the business is expanding, they're able to make more and keep more. And so overall, that helps the entire business. But during these speaking engagements that I do, a lot of times we can have a victim mentality with insurance. You know, insurance is expensive. My deductible's too high. That's one of the ones that I hear all the time is, yeah, the premium might be low, but my deductible's high, and I can't even afford to pay my deductible. This is going to be blunt, but whose fault is that? It's not the insurance company's fault that I don't have 10 grand. That's my fault. So what I do with clients is I help them get their finances figured out, get their money right so that they can actually use these products and services that they pay for. right? We can hate on insurance companies all day long. I'm right there with you. If you watched my video on Friday, the reason I'm in insurance is because I freaking hate insurance. Okay, I'm the guy that figured out it's a scam and figured the way out, and I want to share it with you. It's the same thing I look for when I work with a tax person. I don't want somebody that's like, oh yes, I love the IRS. I want to be such a good pencil pusher. I want somebody that's like, hey, the IRS is, you know, a cartel and they're stealing and taxation is theft, and I figured out how to prevent you from getting stolen from, and that's why you should work with me. That's me with insurance, right? So we can hate on insurance companies all we want. We probably all have agreement with that. But at the end of the day, it's our fault if we're relying on an insurance company. It's our fault if we don't have enough money to pay the premium. It's our fault if we don't have enough money for the deductible. It's our fault if we don't have enough money for the copay for our prescriptions and our doctor visits, right? And even non-financially, a lot of times it's our fault if we got to go to the doctor. So we talk to employees about that too. Get your physical health figured out too. Get your mental health figured out. I firmly believe 70% of illnesses are in your head, man. So these speaking engagements that we do for employees is basically how do we realign our lives? Because we're going to spend 40 hours a week working at a job. I've literally had people that chose not to retire because they didn't want to lose their benefits, their health insurance benefits. So we're going to work 40 hours a week at a job so that we can have these benefits. If we're stuck there for 40 hours, you can agree with me on this, right? We might as well love what we do. Like, we might as well enjoy it. We might as well like working, and we might as well appreciate being there. And that is almost 100% tied to the payoff that we get for our time, right? So if we're working at a job and we're still experiencing paycheck to paycheck, we're still experiencing, you know, we can't pay our bills, we're still experiencing the deductible on our insurance is too high, we're not going to love going to work every day because it feels like we're digging a hole that we can't get out of, okay? So again, I'm Jerry. Hit me up. Go to agcapitalgroup.com/savings. I can save you 50% on your health insurance premiums. This is critical. Do it now. Don't procrastinate. This is something that I can get you locked in on this week, today. For those of you guys that are silently creeping on my videos, I love you guys. I know you're there. Don't be afraid to reach out. I want to be in communication with you. I want to make sure that I'm able to help you as well. Have a great Tuesday. And make sure that if you have an opportunity to save 50% on your insurance, you don't pass that up. Go ahead and give me a call, 907-414-5337, agcapitalgroup.com/savings. If you're a client of mine, if you're a supporter of mine, if you are inspired by this video, if you learned something today, please share the stream. Go ahead and share that out on your Facebook stream. I'm also on Instagram. I'm on Twitter. I'm on LinkedIn. I'm on Medium. I'm on Google+. I'm on Steemit. You haven't even heard of Steemit, and I'm on that. So follow me. I've got plenty of content out there. Again, one more time, I'm able to drop your insurance cost by 50% per year. If you're an employer, I can reduce your per employee cost down to $200 a month. And I can provide free wealth coaching to every single employee in your company so that we increase the financial certainty of the environment. That's going to increase your company's overall productivity, and it's going to reduce turnover. All right? So thank you guys. Garrett, thank you for silent creeping on my post here. I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up. I've got some work to do, and I know you do too. I appreciate your support. I can't wait to hear from you.